Moon Maiden, a myth by Lady Moonwater. In an old kingdom, they had an old story of how the moon came to be. For you see, she wasn't always lighting up the night. It was believed that she had been a princess in this kingdom a long time ago, and through her voice alone had stopped ages of sacrifices to the god of the sun. It was told in the old stories that to cool the sun god's soul, every seventh princess, when she turned 13 years of age, was to be burned on the altar in his temple. At the end of that day, the princess's soul would drift into the black abyss above, forever lost in its darkness. If this was not done, there would be droughts throughout the land until the child was sacrificed. For you see, the dashing Lord Sun, who was always dressed in his flaming robes of sapphire and golden light, had been seeking for a young maiden who could calm his flaming rage, finally soothing his soul. Alas, with each princess and with each sacrifice, it was never enough. Many years had passed, many sacrifices were made, many tears were shed. Despite all the heartache, none of their souls had been sweet, pure, or serene enough to cool his rage. By now, the night was filled with their lost souls. Then, on the 21st of the 6th month, Princess Moon was born. Moon could hear the souls of the past maidens, surrounded in the darkness of the night. She wanted to help them, to ease their sadness. So, every night she would sing at the edge of the shore, her toes dipped in the clear salt water until the morning sun rose. Upon first hearing her voice, Sun had become curious and would peek over the ocean's edge, trying to get a glimpse of the source of the song. Night after night, she had become the reason Sun rose earlier every daybreak, all just to hear the young maiden's beautiful voice. In her song, she would tell tales of the past maidens' souls, their despair, and how she longed to put an end to the sacrifices of her sisters. The sun god heard these words that carried such emotion. He was so taken with her words of love, sorrow, and beauty, he had decided to grant her her wish. Upon the next early morn, he spoke to the young princess. "Fair maiden, tell me, are you the seventh daughter of this country's king?" The princess fell to her knees in the frigid ocean waters, her delicate lavender nightdress soaked in the high tide. "Yes, my lord, I am she who's to be yours in 3 days' time," she answered, trying to hide the shakiness in her voice. "I have heard your songs cry. They have won you great favor with me. You will be the last of your kingdom to be sacrificed. Tell your king these words just as I have spoken," he ordered. "Yes, of course, my lord, but," she wavered, and brushed some of her loose golden waves from her sea-green eyes. "I am known to tell outlandish stories. What if he dismisses me?" Sun responded with this: "He will see in 3 days' time. For your assurance, a gift I will give you." The god gave her a ring made of blue fire, which bore the sun god's crest. With this promise swirling around her wedding finger, she hastened to her father and recounted everything that had happened, as well as to show him the ring of fire. With this news, the king was overjoyed for future generations, but saddened for his beloved daughter who still had to die. In honor of what she had done and her 13th birthday, the king threw a lavish banquet that lasted the next 2 days. Upon the 3rd and last day, she went to the sun god's temple to be burned on the altar. Moon did not cry or scream or resist. All she did was sing. she sang from the castle to the temple, and as they were tying her to the altar, she sang her last song of the sun, her sisters, and herself, the last offering. As the smoke and embers floated off in the evening breeze, the whole kingdom wept. That evening, the kingdom watched as Princess Moon's soul glided into the plum-rich twilight. Everyone knew it was hers. Princess Moon had become the brightest and most beautiful orb in the sky, and, still swirling around her ascending spirit, was the ocean blue ring of fire.